Hey guys, it's Miss O'Donnell. I miss you guys a lot. I hope you're doing okay. So congratulations. This is gonna be our last angle for circles. So we're gonna talk about circumscribed angles. It's kind of a weird word, but all right. So first let's talk about what we already know. We learned central angles way back when we were in the classroom. Central angles are equal to the arc. Then we talked about inscribed angles, which were half the arc. So we take our arc, we divide it by 2. Then we did intersecting chords, where you add up your two arcs. So we do arc 1 plus arc 2 divided by 2. And then we have our secant, which is big arc minus small arc divided by 2. So we've got one last one to do. So first let's talk about secant again. So secant was formed by two secant lines, and the angle was outside. This is the one where we subtract. So we did big arc minus small arc divided by 2. The big arc was 160, the small arc is 40, so it would be 160 minus 40 divided by 2. You get 120 divided by 2, so the angle is 60 degrees. So our new angle is going to be really, really similar to secant. The only difference is instead of two secant lines, it's going to be two tangent lines. So hopefully you remember that tangents only touch the circle at one point, but the angle is still outside. So you'll notice we still have a big arc and a little arc. We've got our angle out here. So we're going to use the same formula because it works almost like a secant. Big arc minus small arc divided by 2. But you'll now notice that our big arc, the pink one, and our small arc, the orange one, are now making a full circle. So since the tangents only cross at one point, the arcs are going to touch at that point. So our big arc and our small arc are going to make a whole circle. All right, so if I throw some numbers in there, my big arc is 250, my small arc is 110. You'll notice 250 plus 110 is 360. It's a full circle. Let's take a second, try to solve it. You should have done 250 minus 110 divided by 2. What's 250 minus 110? It's 140. Divided by 2 is 70, right? Nothing new. It's totally fine. One big shortcut. So circumscribed are pretty nice. There's a shortcut. So I want you to look at these two numbers. We've got our small arc and our angle. Do you notice anything about those? Hopefully you saw that they are supplementary. They add up to 180. This is going to be true for every single circumscribed angle. So if you don't want to do the whole formula, big arc minus small arc divided by 2, you can just look at the small arc, right? Not the big one. Not the big one, the small one. It's going to be supplementary to our angle. So I'm going to go through two problems with you. I'll show you the long way, and then I'll show you the shortcut way. All right, so here's a circumscribed angle. We know that arc RP is 120 degrees. We're trying to solve for angle Q. So go ahead, pause the video, see if you can solve for the angle. All right, the very first thing you should do is realize that you don't have the big arc. We have the small arc, we don't have the big arc. The way we solve for the big arc is we're going to subtract whatever we have from 360. So we know the small arc is 120, 360 minus 120 is 240. So step one's always going to be to figure out both the arcs. We have the small arc, we need the big arc, subtract from 360. Then you use your formula. Big arc minus small arc divided by 2. 240 minus 120 divided by 2. 240 minus 120 is 120, divided by 2 is 60. So we know our angle is going to be 60 degrees. Now for the shortcut. You could have just looked at the small arc and the angle. Our small arc is 120. So 180 minus 120 is 60. Right? These two numbers are supplementary. All right, so here's another one. So pause the video, take a second, try to solve for the angle. Remember, our first step is to solve for the big arc. We have the small arc, JL is 80 degrees. We don't have the big arc. So to solve for the missing arc, we do 360 minus 80. We know that the big arc is 280 degrees. Then we use our formula, big arc minus small arc divided by 2. 280 minus 80 is 200, divided by 2 is 100 degrees. For the shortcut, say the small arc and the angle are supplementary. What number is supplementary to 80? That's 180 minus 80, you get 100 degrees. And that's all of it. Those are all of the angles you need to know. That's all you need to know for circumscribed. Same as secant. Secant, we're subtracting them. Anytime the angle is outside the circle, you're going to subtract. When it's inside, you add. When it's outside, you subtract. Or just remember the big shortcut that the angle and the small arc are supplementary. So if you have any questions, just send me an email or join me for office hours from 12 to 1 today. You can go ahead and start the exit ticket. Thanks.